So here is my Mobius Nova. So in an earlier episode, we looked at my two Novas that I made. So I made a 64 Nova Super Sport, which was the way the kit came. And then I took one of the gasser kits and made a 65 post street car. Well, then it's like, well, if I did all that, then I need to make a 64 Super Sport gasser. So I just took all my gasser parts I had left over from the 65, and I took another 64 body, the leftover 64 body from the 65 streetcar I did, and I made a 64 gasser. So it's sometimes I don't know if people notice that it's a 64. They notice the kit and they think it's a 65 because everybody's building the 65. So we're gonna take a look at this. And so what I did with the paint is I wanted an original lacquer look to it. So this is like a 1960s Testors Nassau blue lacquer spray can, and I didn't rub it out. I didn't clear coat it. I didn't use my Krylon or nothing. I just left it the way it was, the way it sprayed out of the can. So it looks like, you know, back in the day, GM cars were lacquer, and then after a couple of years, that lacquer would dull if they weren't rubbed out after a while. So it's kind of got that look to it. So so I did that, and I also lowered the back end and I raised the front end. So I have it higher in the front than the kit does, and lower in the back than the kit does. And of course I did the chrome foil on it, and the decals are from Speed City decals. I use those, and then I have from Hobby Lobby, they sell sheets of Mylar in different colors. So I put blue windows in the sides to make it look like they did back in the day. And then also, instead of wheelie bars, I got a little piece of lint hanging there. Instead of wheelie bars, I put two little roller bars, just little rollers like on the back bumper. Like if it did a wheelie, it would almost scrape the back bumper. So kind of like low tack, not really wheelie bars. I think I actually cut them right off the wheelie bars that came in this kit. So it's made to look like that. Bunch of stickers in the back window, like he would have had a bunch of, you know, winners from classes. And then I hand painted with a pen. They have these white, let me see if we can find it. Again, I'm not prepared. You would think by now I've learned to be more prepared. Hold that thought. I'm back. Okay, so I took this paint marker from Hobby Lobby, and it's the tip on it's about like that. That's what I wrote on the window of the car. Now something I did, which took an enormous amount of time, is I sanded out the grill in this. Now they now sell a 3D one that's already hollow behind the grill, but I made this one hollow. I sanded that myself. It took forever, because to me a gasser isn't a gasser unless you can see through the grill and see the motor. And so that's the way I did that one. I added aluminum injectors. These are actual aluminum machined injectors. I did paint them silver to dull them down. Yeah, I raised the front end 1/8 and lowered the back 1/16. So I lowered the back 1/16 and raised this 1/8 in the front. And I made a moon gas tank. So I made my own. I made a little platform out of sheet styrene, and this is actually a knockoff for a wheel. And I just grabbed the parts kit, moon tank, and kind of made my own thing there. Now I wish, the one thing I didn't do, I did change the front tires. I put a taller tire with a white wall on the inside, like they would have did back in the day, because they were just running street tires in the front of these. They didn't do nothing special. I wish I would have put, I took the kit wheels and added aluminum color in there. Same way on the front, I dulled them down with a little bit of aluminum. I wish I would have put, these are, the kit wheels are kind of, they're not really retro, they're kind of modern looking. I wish I would have, especially the back ones. The front one's not necessarily, but I wish I would have put a real older wheel on it, because I'm kind of doing a period car, not really a newer car. And then of course I got all the decals on the dash like they would have did back then. I added a tack, which might have came in a kit, I'm not sure. I did add a blue metal flake steering wheel. And other than that, it's pretty much the way that kit came. I don't know what I did underneath here. I haven't looked underneath here lately. Okay, so I got the orange, I got the ladder bars. I didn't weather this or nothing underneath. Nothing crazy. Again, I didn't really make this to turn it upside down. It's more like a visual gasser. But the grill, to me, the grill makes all the difference. You know, having that grill how you know, opened up, that you can see that motor through there. So many of them just had a thin metal grill in the front, and everything else was gutted out of it. So I just thought that looks cool like that. And the fact that the paint, it's not flat, but it's not shiny either. And I love that Nassau blue. I think that's a cool color. If I could, I'd probably paint all my cars blue. I'm a blue guy. So, and I didn't get crazy with it, you know, other than putting all the foil on it, which takes forever. Did the silver in the back, like the Super Sport one I had. And with the blue windows, you can't see much of the interior anyway, but all those cars had tinted windows in them, especially gassers. And I looked it up. That's a correct class and a good time for a gasser back in the day. So that's kind of why I came up with that time on that. So, yep. So this was my third Nova that I built. And then somewhere down the line, we're going to look at my fourth one. And then after the fourth one, I have a new one I'm going to be starting too. So, but I love this kit. These Nova, the Mobius Novas, they're pretty cool kits. You can do a lot with them. So I'm looking forward to probably doing a couple more down through the line. I'll do a couple more. I hope you like it. These are slicks. These other decals up here, I think these are mostly slicks decals. I think all these up here are all slicks decals. The only ones that are Speed City are like these and these. And you know, I was in printing for many years, and these decals to me didn't look that great on the decal sheet. They were kind of pixeled, what I called pixeled. They're a little rough on the edges. But when I got them on the car, they look fine. So I don't know. I'm picky about stuff like that because I was in printing, but they actually look pretty good on the car. So, and at first, you know, when I got their decals, they don't have a lot of labeling on their decals. And I stuck them in my box, and I had them for a couple years. And then I finally used them on this car. And everybody kept asking me about the decals, and I couldn't remember where I got them or who the manufacturer was. So I was at another show, and they were actually there, and I finally saw they had these decals again, so I bought those. I bought these and a bunch of other ones, but I wrote down their name on them so I knew what they were. Because if I don't ever write down the names of where this stuff comes from, I can't remember. I didn't have a good memory to start with, and it's worse now. So I didn't put wiper blades on. I left the holes there, like it would have took them out. But it's got a roll bar and stuff. It's got the 65 interior in it for the gasser, what that kit came with. But so I just did a 64 gasser. So I don't know if anybody else has done a 64 gasser. If you have, let me know. I don't know if anybody else has done this. But again, this one I got done fairly early when this kit was fairly new. But it's a good kit. Like I said, I built a couple of them already. I like mixing and matching them. But let me know what you think. I did sand the tread too. Actually, these tires are the AMT parts packs, the ones with the white letters on them. But I like this build. It's a cool kit. Let me know what you think. See you on the next one.